In my class, if you want to get into bare knuckle bargaining, I'll show you how to do that. And I've got a system that we brought in directly from kidnapping negotiations that defeats everything that's out there. And I can also teach you how to defeat that system. But it's not the primary purpose of negotiation. I believe the primary purpose of negotiation is to create relationships, to do deals, so that when people are done dealing with you, they say, I do business with that person again. Now, if I were to ask you about what's the difference between bargaining and negotiation, and if you understood that before we started, most of you said, well, yeah, I know. Okay, well, what is the difference? Well, I'm asking you to negotiate without bargaining. If you negotiate well, you never have to bargain. Because price becomes simply a small term in the larger context of everything else. And depending upon the rest of the terms, price can be completely irrelevant. In a confrontational negotiation, it's a lot of fun to have people be worried about dealing with you, but it doesn't get you very far. And it doesn't encourage people to want to deal with you again. Now, if they respect toughness, it's helpful, but and some of the time it's okay. If you're dealing with another tough negotiator, it actually, like my son is very much like me, works at my firm, and you should hear the two of us go back and forth with one another. And I remember one day, because we pride ourselves on how much alike we are, and we're going nose to nose one day, and I looked at him and I said, my curse is you're like me. And normally, you know, we revel in how much alike we are, and he just got this funny look on his face because he didn't understand why it suddenly got as bad. But I found it really a difficult experience. I felt the pain of all of those that had put up with that. So that's the way it feels on your end. And that's a thirds, men and women. We split the class up in my courses, and we're running steady on in thirds. A little higher, a little lower, depending upon the given day, the given group, but it's pretty good. So what that means is of these three types, 2/3 of the people that you deal with are going to approach things a little bit differently than you do, because that betrays your approach. This was originally designed specifically to deal with emotions, and as we all know, emotions don't play a role in business, right? Nor do they play a role in our thinking or our decision making. Do you make emotional decisions? This is a room where most of the room's going to go, well, yeah, of course we do. But I mean, how many people think of their decision making in terms of emotions? Business decisions, good for you. And in business, emotion that's like a dirty word. Someone says you're emotional. If you were in a meeting and someone accused you of being emotional, that would be an insult. They'd be in the process of beginning to take an argument apart, where you're being emotional about this. The thing that I find fascinating that goes along with that, hand in hand, is it's perfectly acceptable to be passionate in business, isn't it? Aren't you both supposed to be passionate about your mission? And you get, and probably the same male CEO that would criticize you for being emotional would say, we need to be passionate about what we're doing. Like, what's the difference?